and war. By their grace, I can heal the wounded. When they wish to strike, I am their iron fist. I am Karazi, monk of Ivgorod. The gods speak through me, and they want a word with you.
So the team originally started back in March, and this was the original Team Immunity team. So we had a big falling out with two of the members of the old Immunity, and then it got to a week before the ANZ qualifiers, and we were like, okay, we've kicked out the guys we don't want. We need a team right now.
I mean, although the roster as a whole hasn't been together that long, most of us have played quite a bit with each other. So I don't think synergy is going to be that much of an issue for us.
Honestly, I don't think we're that worried, just because we're talented, and when you're a talented player, you know, the rest sort of comes with it.
I expect the NA teams will see us as just a bad kind of, like an also-ran sort of wild card that won't impact the tournament. So I think if we execute our play style well, I think we could catch people off guard.
So we've been watching a lot of Korean and Chinese VODs lately, and most of the things are around the picking and the builds that come with it. And it's these types of things that kind of open your eyes to new ways of playing. And in that sense, we've kind of incorporated a lot of that into our playstyle, which I think gives us an advantage.
I think in the ANZ scene, we've developed this really aggressive playstyle, and that sort of formulates our Team Immunity playstyle. We're very aggressive, dive heavy, we just want to go ham. Any team can say they can do anything before the tournament, but it all comes down to how they deal with stress, pressure, if they're fatigued. There are many different variables on the day.
I respect Dreadnought the most as a shot caller. I think he's one of the best shot callers, and like if you ever watch him like try hard and like on his stream, you'll see like how smart he is because of how long he's played the game. He really like focused on learning that stuff. So I definitely learned a lot from watching him.
I respect Arthalon the most. He has probably the strongest mechanics in all of the hero scene. His Kalthos is probably the best in the whole region.
Welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm, America's Championship!
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one spot left in the top four for the semifinals here on day 2.
These teams are again fighting for their lives. They're fighting for the chance to go up against Cognitive, make it to the semifinals, and it is my pleasure, of course, to introduce to you the blue team, a team full of strategists that just make this game so much fun to watch. They are from the US. It is Murloc Geniuses!
the other side, led by their trustworthy conductor and all 5 members ready to dunk. Ladies and gentlemen, 2-2 for Cloud9. This is going to be another fun one. I mean, we said this for the other match too, but both these teams really showed what they were made of. And quite frankly, as much as some people said Cloud9 was a big favorite, Murloc Geniuses are full of surprises.
We are definitely going to see some very distinct play styles here, and I, for one, cannot wait to see how they match up. Who are you rooting for out there? Commentators, go ahead and take us into the match, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Tasteless Plot, and sitting next to me is my good friend, Dan Simkoski, better known as Artosis. What's up, buddy?
Dude, this has been fantastic. This whole crowd out here showing up in Las Vegas so early in the morning. We've had fantastic games all weekend, and I am super excited to continue here today. How about you, Jake?
You know what? The action has been phenomenal, but this next matchup is not going to be any exception. I'm just pumped to get on into it because, well, Cloud9, Cognitive, both very viable for those BlizzCon spots.
Well, you know, you were saying actually before that you felt like Murloc Geniuses might have even taken out Tempo Storm. Do they have a chance against Cloud9 here?
Stylistically, I like Cloud9 versus Murlocs a lot more than versus Tempo Storm. I mean, Murlocs are very much a wild card. They play all kinds of crazy strategies, and they're very strong on new patches. So I expect to see stuff like Thrall, maybe even Rexar busted out here. Now, Thrall hasn't seen changes, but he's really starting rising in the meta. And with the matches we saw in Korea the other night with Tychus, could see something like that as well.
You know, sometimes when you have these unusual teams, they use different compositions, it can be an advantage. I guess the big question we got to ask ourselves is Cloud9 actually going to be ready for whatever Murloc Geniuses throws in here?
Well, taking a look at Murloc Geniuses, you know, this is one of those teams that we just keep talking about. They are so creative. It's a really cool and fun team to watch. But what will we see them pull out here today to try to take down Cloud9, one of the big favorites for a BlizzCon spot?
It's hard to say. I mean, they've got to mix it up, that's for sure. If Cloud9 knows what to expect from Murlocs, I don't think they have a chance. Because mechanically, Cloud9 is probably the strongest team in North America. When it comes to team fights, they're just so refined. I mean, just look at those 5 guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really scary team indeed. But, you know, Jake, you were talking before about how when they lose a match that maybe they thought they should win, their mentality breaks down a little bit. Do you think that might come into play here?
It certainly can. If they do get off on a slow start and Murlocs manages to take game number 1, it certainly will be difficult for Cloud9 to bounce back. We saw that yesterday. I mean, their game number 2, they drafted a no assassin composition, but they looked weak. They just looked generally weaker in game 2.
And as always, we want you to be part of the conversation by tweeting at Esports Heroes, using the hashtag HeroesWC to vote for your favorite team and tell us your predictions. What are your guys' predictions, by the way?
All right, I am going to go with Cloud9 here. I think it's going to be a 2-1 probably. I think Murloc Geniuses had some great games, you know, yesterday, and definitely look like a very strong team, maybe the 4th or 5th best team here, but I think Cloud9 is definitely gunning for one of those spots.
Jake, what about you?
I'm feeling a 2-0 from Cloud9. I mean, honestly, this team is getting better and better when it comes to playing on LAN, and they're going to learn from their mistakes yesterday. They know they failed in the draft, and they will correct that for today's games.
All right.
By the way, we would like to thank our sponsors at Gigabyte, NVIDIA, and Totino's Pizza Rolls for their support in bringing you the Heroes of the Storm America's Championship. We're going to be very close to getting into this game. We're going to have to see what the draft pick is going to be. Obviously, this is almost half the game right here, picking which heroes are going to use and which heroes are going to be banning.
Yeah, indeed. So important. Our first map going to be Dragonshire. Definitely my favorite map.
It's a great map. It's one of the older maps in Heroes of the Storm. And I think it's really a map where you get to see always consistently the team that has better map control actually win.
Well, it looks like we have started Cloud9 with that first ban and first pick, getting rid of Tyrande, something we've seen a lot in the NA scene, and then the very common worldwide ban of Zeratul.
And this should be a first pick on Uther for Cloud9. They kind of realized that giving up Uther might not have been worth it in the game versus Tempo yesterday. DunkTrain so very powerful on that hero, and there it is, the first pick of Uther.
And you really can't blame him for taking Uther there. Universally agreed to be the strongest support in the game. Uther can heal, but he's also very versatile. He's able to punish, to stun, to get in there. Just a fantastic pick. So the strongest support there, taken right away.
And I want to compliment just the ban on Tyrande here too, because Tyrande on this battleground, she is so good at pairing with all the rotation heroes, whether it be Kerrigan or Butcher, it doesn't matter. She complements them all so well, and that is so key on Dragonshire.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing because around the world we don't see that as often, but definitely a strong character here in the Americas region. Now we do have the picks for Murloc Geniuses coming up. Jaina being their first pickups, that's been very popular, and Abathur right off the bat.
Really excited to see Abathur being used here. Abathur's been getting more and more popular in this tournament as we get further and further along, and Abathur a great pick. The fact that Abathur can pretty much be anywhere at any point in time makes Abathur just a fantastic hero. Let's say that you have the Abathur hat on one hero and it gets taken out. That's fine. You can go to the next one. This makes for great fights, especially when fighting over the shrines specifically, but also just around the Dragon Knight as well.
And the Toxic Nest, you can spread out everywhere for vision. I mean, such a versatile hero. But Cloud9, they've now got 2 more picks, and really considering that none of the Warriors have been touched, Johanna and Leoric, they have whatever they want here.
Yeah, those are 2 of our absolute top picks in Heroes of the Storm. 2 fantastic warriors. And let's see Kael'thas being picked up right away.
Kael'thas is fantastic and deals so much damage. You can't be really surprised to see a pick there, especially with Jaina already being taken.
Well, who will they pick with this? If they don't pick up a warrior here, whether it be Johanna or Leoric.
Leoric. Actually, one of the later times we've seen Leoric pick. Leoric is either picked first or banned first most of the time. So definitely want to get Leoric on your team. It's such a stable warrior hero, able to zone so well, and just brilliant escapes too.
You can argue that being predictable is a weakness for a team. That certainly isn't the case with King Caffeine. He's very public about saying, I will pick Leoric just about every case in which I can, but it doesn't matter because he's so strong on that hero.
Well, it looks like we do have another band coming up. Zagara band here by Murloc Geniuses. Definitely one of these very popular heroes. Helps with the rotations with those creep tumors, giving a lot of vision. And of course, deals a lot of damage. And those Moss setups as well. Very powerful indeed.
Kind of funny, we had a Johanna band there. When normally it's either Leoric band, and then Johanna is the first pick. Also, as we get further here, we're going to have Illidan. Now, Illidan and Abathur, this is probably one of the oldest combos we've seen in Heroes of the Storm. We don't always see a lot of success about it. You know, we've talked about this backstage especially. Is this still viable? Apparently Murloc Geniuses thinks it is.
Yeah, I mean, we did see yesterday, for instance, Cognitive Gaming have some great success with Illidan Abathur, but, you know, this is sometimes an all your eggs in one basket type of move.
You know, but they could actually aim to replicate that. Now, I actually talked to the team a bit more, and this is something they picked up from Snake and Career. And there's Tastar. This should be the Brightwing, the exact composition we saw from Cognitive just yesterday. It's a very cool style that is new to the American meta, and teams are not used to fighting against it.
Certainly, you just skip a warrior with this type of pick, and Illidan is kind of your everything. You know, you put that Abathur hat on him, make him attack quicker, give him those extra shields, heal him up, and just let him go ham.
Well, we're going now to the final 2 picks here for Cloud9, and their chance to respond here to Murloc Geniuses, and we're going to have a Sonya pick. Sonya definitely on the rise in popularity, and we just have to see what that last hero is going to be.
Now, the Sonya pick here is incredibly intelligent for one reason, and it's the fact that there's not a single stun on the side of Murloc Geniuses at this point.
Oh, that's a great point.
Murden, on the other hand, is very good because he's counter Illidan, reverberation, reduce that auto attack speed, and, well, that's just going to reduce the effectiveness of that hero they're putting so much faith in already.
I do love it. That is a fantastic couple of pickups for them, absolutely. What will this last pick be? Probably like a Rhaegar, you think?
I'm feeling the Brightwing still.
Brightwing,
that full combo out of Korea. Now, they might be backing away from it, I don't know, but it seems like they're committed. We've seen Tassadar have great success paired with Brightwing. I'm feeling it.
All right, let's see it. Oh, it does turn out to be a Rhaegar, but you know, that's the really old combo right there, right? Just get that Ancestral off and...
Still a strong pairing. I mean, you talk about Lightning Shield on top of Illidan. When he's dashing forward, he's doing more damage with that. Ancestral Heal, like that big heal to keep Illidan and give him that second chance to stay alive in those fights. Very strong.
Yeah, so which lineup do you guys like more here as far as the heroes go? Do you like this? Do you like this kind of new, fresh composition without the warrior, or do you like the fact that they picked up the Sonya and Muradin over on Murloc Geniuses?
Every time I've seen Cloud9 play with Sonya and Muradin, this is hyper dive style. It feels so strong. I'm feeling the Cloud9 comp. I think that's a better composition for
I got to agree. Actually, it's cool to see Murloc Geniuses using this comp. But I think the question is it going to be viable? Is it actually going to work? I think Cloud9's comp a little bit more modern, probably a little bit more effective.
There's just so many stuns, and if they're speccing really into Illidan, if he gets stun locked as he dives into battle, it could be lights out for him.
Yeah, I mean, what else are they going to do? If Illidan blows up, then you basically have Jaina and Tassadar on their own trying to take everyone out. That's not going to work out. So definitely got to go with you guys. I'm favoring Cloud9 here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get hyped. We are going into game number 1. Murloc Geniuses against Cloud9.
All right, over here on the left side of the map, in the blue, we have Equinox on Illidan, madtimmy on Rhaegar, Faye on Abathur, CauthonLuck on Jaina, and Fury on Tassadar. Make some noise for Murloc Geniuses. And their opponents in the red on the right side of the map, we have DunkTrain on Uther, King Caffeine on Leoric, Fan on Muradin, Keiwan Pro on Kael'thas, and iDream on Sonya. Let me hear you make some noise for Cloud9.
Well, our game is now started up. We do see some camping here, bush party here for Murloc Geniuses, hoping for a possible ambush. Doesn't look like we're going to have one, as the concentration of Cloud9 just going to be in the middle here. And then they will rotate to the other lanes here to make sure they soak up experience properly.
All right, let's see. They are doing a big rotation down here. I think we're going to see a lot of rotating going on by Cloud9, just clearing lane, clearing lane, clearing lane. Definitely a popular thing to do on this map, but those Abathur mines kind of slowing them down and annoying them a bit.
We have seen 4 player rotations from middle to bottom a lot on this map when we're casting at OGN, where you have one of the more stable heroes just stay in the top lane and try to stabilize there. On this map, middle lane and bottom lane a little bit more important than top lane, because top lane has bridges that you have to get to your opponent's base, and that's a little bit tougher to push.
Yeah, definitely those bottom 2 lanes a bit more important. That's why we see a lot of soloing up there, as you say. So interesting to see who they put up there. No big surprise that Sonya right now up at that top shrine, but we do have Illidan rotating up there as well to help out.
Both shrines under the control of Cloud9, although we do see Jaina coming up here in the north to capture top shrine. And it looks like that will then go back to a balance of one controlled by one team, the other controlled by the other. Not normal to see Dragon Knight taken right away. If that is taken there, that's a huge blow to the team that didn't get it.
Yeah, and psychologically as well. 2 teams that are evenly matched oftentimes battle for many minutes to try to get that first Dragon Knight out, because both teams are just so on top of preventing it. So.
You know, one thing to keep in mind too is that you don't want to go all in to get the Dragon Knight early on, because you need to get experience.
Yeah, that's definitely very important. If you're roaming as 5 or something, skipping some of these lanes, your opponents are going to get a bit of an advantage as far as that experience goes. But look at this, a very quick move over here by Illidan on Murloc Geniuses to go ahead and grab that Bruiser Camp.
Dude, super quick rush there on the Bruiser Camp. That's going to give a strong push there, having that. You got to be careful, though, because Illidan, really the focus of this entire team right now. Everybody bands together and helps Illidan when the team engagements happen. So they're going to use that. Illidan in good shape still. But definitely as this game goes on, keep your eyes on Illidan, because he's going to be the center of attention throughout this game as we get into about mid-game, like where level 10 is, all the way into late game to level 20.
You're very correct about that. He is the star of this show, whether it be a successful showing or a tragedy for his team. If he stays alive, they will win. If he doesn't, they will lose.
As the game continues on, we do see that no 2 shrines are under the control of one team. A little bit of concentration up at the top. Whoa! Illidan getting very low! Leoric goes in forward, and very good timing there. Dashed away.
Now,
really good.
That is
awesome support for your Illidan player right there. Abathur instantly giving the hat. Cassar immediately coming up and giving him that shield. But Jaina, not quite so lucky, get him taken out.
Nice takedown there by Jaina. Looks like Cassar trying to get away. He should get out of here without a takedown. But wow, really good footsies, if you want to call it there, by Illidan. Moving out, well-timed out shield. I really thought he was going to lose. You see Lior ghosting forward like that. It's pretty scary. But great job there by our Illidan player.
All right, well, right now we do have Tassar getting blown up there in the center. In the meantime, we do have Equinox here. He has that Abathur hat pushing forward. Murden has to retreat for the time being, but they do have control of the center, and the shrine is up.
As we go forward here, if they can get the shrine, that would be huge. It looks like it might go uncontested, and the Dragonite has been acquired now by Fan, pushing forward here into the mid lane. And this is going to be a pretty big blow for Murloc Geniuses.
Absolutely. Nice moves there by Cloud9, being able to grab that first Dragonite, but it's still important that they're soaking all of these lanes. The first Dragonite, yeah, you're going to get some towers, a gate, you know, get some damage on your opponents, but you don't expect to do too much, so you still have to just fight towards that level 10.
Dragonite now rotating to the top. You can always tell, you know, when you've got a good team, they're able to sustain the Dragonite first one for a long period of time. So Dragonite now going up to the north here. They're going to take out the towers here. And important to note, when you take out one of the towers, obviously no bullets are going to be firing on minion waves, so the other team has to be even more attentive as the game progresses.
Well, you know, they got some value out of that Dragonite there.
Sure,
definitely did some significant damage. And if you look at the experience bars, that does reflect that somewhat. They're almost to level 9, whereas Murloc Genius is only about halfway through level 8. So they may be able to go ahead and grab level 10 first, and those heroic abilities, which are so important in Heroes of the Storm.
And around the time they get to level 10, I think the shrines will have respawned, so that'll be another opportunity for them to really control the map, get those shrines again, and I think if Cloud9 does it right, there's going to be great room to punish Murloc Geniuses here.
Well, we do see both teams kind of checking around, poking into mercenary camps here and there. Oh, very nice. We do see the mule being taken here by Abathur. Going to go ahead and repair up some of these hurt towers.
Good push up here at the top. Meanwhile, in the mid, Tassadar is getting zoned out. And that's actually a great play here by Cloud9, because as they're hitting level 10, there's no way that Dragonite is really accessible here. And we are going to have those shrines spawn momentarily, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
You know, it's pretty great that Cloud9 just got level 10. We don't have that for Murloc Geniuses, so we see Cloud9 starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Sonya pushing up top, Liork in the middle, and 3 heroes down in that bottom lane. So they are going to see if they can get a little bit of an engagement right before 10 for Murloc Geniuses.
And level 10 is about to be touched right now by Murloc Geniuses. And that's going to be the big equalizer right now. And this is where Murloc Geniuses can begin to get tempo into this game. They can actually start to balance this out, because they were at a disadvantage. And there wasn't really much they could do, right? I mean, they were behind in levels. They didn't get the Dragonite. But here at level 10, this is where things can really begin to even out. Maybe even Murloc Geniuses beginning to come back.
Well, I want to point out something really clever here by Cloud9. On Kael'thas, they've taken Pyroblast as their heroic talent. And that is a great move against a composition that doesn't have Uther there to put on a Divine Shield onto Illidan. So they can put a lot of damage on him right away.
What's funny about it, too, is Illidan has to dive in.
Yeah.
I mean, Illidan has to actually be there, right? There's no Illidan runs away while doing damage strategy. So Pyroblast just nukes him, right?
Yeah.
So let's keep on the lookout for that, because I think that's going to have a huge impact here in this game.
Certainly the case. Can't wait to see that. But right now, we do have a big push here with that giant camp down the bottom, taking out the fort here.
So good push there in the bottom lane. By the way, bottom lane on this map, potentially the most important lane. You can really get some solid pushes in there. It's very open. You get access to that, so you can get to the core pretty easily and get out pretty easily. So really, Cloud9 off to a great start.
All right, here we go. We have Illidan actually jumping in at the moment. Nice stun there by Kael'thas, but everyone does back up, doesn't want to do a full-on battle at the moment.
And as the game continues on, important to note that not two shrines, or neither the two shrines are ever under one team's control at any given point in time. But that may be changing here. Yes, it is, as we have Murloc Geniuses taking that, but I spoke too soon. Fan already reclaims the top shrine here. So no Dragonite just yet for any team.
Guys, by the way, go ahead and make sure to hashtag HeroesWC and vote for which team you think is going to win. Hashtag Cloud9 or hashtag Murloc Geniuses. Go ahead on Twitter and do that right now.
Yeah, definitely do that. That's a great way to participate here with the show. We want to hear what you guys are thinking. By the way, bottom lane down here being pushed pretty heavily. We see we are right now. Vampire and some health away from the opposing team. As we get a little bit further, Tassadar going to have to back up a little bit more right now.
Yeah, we see the Avatar is up. A nice stun goes down there on madtimmy. Going to have to back up for the time being. Cloud9 starting to rotate back a little bit. They are split. Kael'thas is way off to the side. Metamorphosis here by Illidan. Illidan getting all over DunkTrain, jumping back now, and they've just got to keep him alive.
Illidan taking a lot of damage right now. Going to be the focus of all the attention. And right now, Cloud9 is diving in. Sonya coming in very low on health. Does manage to back away. Illidan escaping. And it was only Kael'thas that was taken out there. So a win there for Murloc Geniuses, but not a huge one. They won the battle, but not, so far the war at least.
Indeed, indeed. But, we did see, that was some nice moves by Illidan to get out of there. If that Pyroblast had gone off on him, he definitely would have gone down, but instead it was thrown down on the Rhaegar. Really nice moves by both sides, but, right now, Murloc Geniuses has control of both these shrines.
And it looks like, Murloc Geniuses barely denied the Dragon Knight there. We saw that the animation was almost done. He would have connected. It became the Dragon Knight. But the shrine was captured there by Cloud9. So nice play there. And now Cloud9 under control here. Looks like it's going to be the Murloc Geniuses to deny any capture of the Dragon Knight. And so far they've done that effectively.
Oh man, look at the amount of damage being put on Illidan right there. That was a lot. And the Pyroblast coming out right now. Illidan can't escape. Lots of damage going down once again. But Rhaegar on top of healing him up.
Nicely done there by Rhaegar. Once again, Cloud9 and under control of the shrines. This may force Murloc Geniuses to stay in the center here. They're going to have to leave at least 3 players here because otherwise they probably can't deny the capturing of the Dragon. Whoa!
Oh, the late Ancestral right there, blowing up Illidan. Very nice move by Cloud9. That really breaks the backbone of Murloc Geniuses.
Really nicely done. And this team doesn't function without Illidan. This entire team is centered around buffing and supporting Illidan. So when you take Illidan out, that means Cloud9 is going to have complete control here. And now we see a push into the mid lane. This fort for sure is going to go down.
Yeah, that fort is absolutely out of here. Illidan's still not up, so they don't really have a great fighting force at the moment, whereas the entire team of Cloud9 is up, pushing all over the place. We do finally have Illidan up. Everyone congregating here at the middle keep wall.
You can see the wall now getting broken down here. Very effective. Dragon Knight still at about 90% health, and they're going to rotate back out as that they've done the damage. We may see a rotation at top. Not entirely clear here. First thing to get the Dragon Knight out. Dragon Knight taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at taking all of King Caffeine's Dragon Knight health off of him. But that's all right, he has backed up, and now we do see Cloud9 turn here. Nice stun going down on Jaina, jumping here from Muradin, going into Avatar mode, and we see a lot of targeting going down, but Metamorphosis from Illidan.
Jaina taken down right now. Cloud9 going to be diving in. Illidan getting barely low on HP. Illidan on the run right now. A stun there, beautiful. As Tassadar is so low, invulnerable for a second.
Beautiful move right there by Tassadar, barely getting out of there alive, saving Illidan as well, but doesn't matter. This keep taking lots of damage from Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, they escaped, but that doesn't mean they're going to live through the game here, as mid lane is completely cleared. As you can see by the shape of the map, that's the fastest lane for minions to push through, so that's going to be a bit of a burden there on Murloc Geniuses. Top lane, not really touched for them, but that's not as important on this map. So right now, Cloud9 is just setting up for, I think, a win, unless Murloc Geniuses really comes up with something incredible right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to win a team battle or two here. They haven't killed these forts, and that's a really tough situation to be in. You need to have a path to that core. If you don't have one and it gets to late game, even if you win a big battle, you're not going to be able to finish your opponents off.
This is a problem right here. I'm not sure exactly what Murloc Geniuses can do. I don't believe this team scales as well into the late game. I think this team has a lot of good fighting potential, especially post-level 10. But as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, I think if Murloc Geniuses makes any mistake, for instance, if Illidan dies again,
yeah,
I don't know what you're going to do,
no, I mean,
right?
That's the one mistake you can't make, right? If Illidan ends up going down, then there's nothing you can really do. He's your frontliner in every single way. You don't have a warrior. It's all about his damage output. But for the time being, we do have a big push here with the Giants onto this bottom key wall. It's going to give them a lot of experience and open up this path even more.
And bottom lane getting eaten up here as, you know, Murloc Genius is just not quite able to defend. I mean, the mercenary camp's being captured so effectively. And also, no, Cloud9 engages, but they know exactly when to pull out. The moment that the shrines are available again, they go right in there. But we do have actually Murloc Genius coming in to chase in right now.
Yeah, it looks like Illidan was all over Muradin there for a moment, but Muradin being able to get out of the way, and it looks like they have a escape.
Misstepped, actually. Illidan did not quite body block Muradin correctly there, and Cloud9 basically leaving unscathed, right? They already have the bottom shrine. We only got Abathur protecting the top shrine, if you can even call it that. So I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do.
Well, right now we do see Murloc Geniuses coming down to take this bottom area. A lot of damage being put onto Leoric. He does use his Wraith Walk, but it looks like Illidan is going to chase him down, and this kill should occur. There he goes.
Nicely done. Illidan wants blood, and they do manage to get in there, take that, and they are going to go capture the bottom shrine, making sure that Dragon Knight is unavailable for the time being. Important to note, level lead right now for Cloud9 compared to Murloc Geniuses. So they're going to be getting level 20, and their Storm abilities a little bit quicker.
That is very important to bring up, Tasteless. Those Storm talents are absolutely amazing. They're kind of like heroics all over again at level 20. So that'll give them a big, big edge if they can manage to hit it first.
Right now, Murloc Geniuses, I got to say, they're doing the best they can. I think it's pretty effective, trying to stick together as a team. We have a surround coming in here. Beautiful flank right now from Cloud9. Heroic ability activated there on Illidan, but they're doing a decent job setting. Nice job there, keeping Jaina alive.
Indeed, but right now we see Sonya dealing lots of damage in here. Rhaegar being stunned. Rhaegar does in fact fall, and right now we just see Tassadar and Illidan hightailing it out of here.
And, you know, with two heroes down, Abathur not having a tremendous amount of functionality at this point in time. I mean, I guess he can buff buildings and everything like that, but Abathur can't reclaim shrines, for instance, which are both available here on the map. So with map control going to Cloud9, I mean, here they go. They beat me to it. They're going to get the Dragon Knight no matter what.
That's going to be really, really tough, especially since Rhaegar, their healer, and Jaina, their range damage, are down right now. And oh man, Abathur ends up falling. That is bad, bad news. They're on top of the core right now. All five coming in. The Dragon Knight as well. It doesn't look like Illidan will be able to stop them.
The core is taking too much damage. I don't believe that Murloc Geniuses can keep it alive. And this will be game number 1 as Cloud9 wins their GG.
Wow, absolutely stellar play coming out of Cloud9. Solid Jake, what do you chalk that win up to?
You know, just the way they executed with the flanks, picking up Pyroblast instead of Phoenix to have more burst in those fights. Really well done by Cloud9. I mean, in every way, they had control on that game.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. You know, these Illidan compositions where all your eggs are in that basket, if they do the right things to minimize it, Reverberation, Pyroblast, you know, just keeping their heroes alive a little bit longer, it seems really tough to pull out the game.
Here's what I'm wondering, because we've seen this comp a lot, worldwide, but I don't believe it's been as effective overall. I mean, is this team composition bunk by now? Should this be shifted out of the meta?
I think it depends. Some teams just kind of struggle against it, right? It's stylistically, some teams really just fall apart. They just can't handle the Illidan. He's in their face. But Cloud9 had so many stuns, they had all the answers that they needed, and it just looked easy for them, honestly.
It really did. I wonder if we'll see them try that again, because, you know, we did see that same composition before. Cognitive did a great job with it, but here it seems like Cloud9 is a little bit too on top of things. You know, they're doing the right stuns, they're getting the reverberation, they're picking up Sonya where there's stuns missing on the other team, and it was just like fantastic play the entire game there by Cloud9 based on destroying the composition their opponents chose.
You know, here's one thing you got to notice, right? You cannot do that team without Illidan, right? Therefore, you have to get Illidan right away. And once they see that Illidan's in the team comp, they just start counterpicking it, right? Like you were saying, they get the stuns. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's much they can do about that just by the way the ban pick phase goes, right?
I'm with you, and actually I picked out a really cool replay just to show one of the ways that they handle Illidan in this matchup. Now notice, they use Pyroblast to force Equinox to use all these sustain abilities. And now Equinox, he's not going to have first aid, he's not going to have all of that full kit readily available, and this is when Cloud9 just seals the deal with all the stuns. By doing the StormLuck combo, they try to get the Ancestral just a moment too late. You see how fast he was blown up there? With that, they were able to pick up a Dragonite and then push forward, taking out the first keep of the game. That aggression, that moment is really when Cloud9 swung forward in the game, and they never lost control.
Well, it is only game 1, so we're not done yet. We're going to go to a short break. We come back, game number 2 here with Murloc Geniuses against Cloud9.
It took a while to find all the players I really wanted to play with, but after I found the players, we just kind of connected really well.
Every once in a while, when we've been doing a long scrim day of like 5 hours, our team just goes insane out of nowhere in the draft, and we just end up with like 3 supports and 2 melee assassins, or just like 4 ranged assassins, and like Nazebo is our aggressive roamer or something for some reason. We occasionally learn things from them, and they can be kind of fun.
If we're running on all cylinders and like playing just our best, we have no fear against any team. Like we just go in and we're confident in our own play to like get just 1v1 someone, just get a pick, no problem. Our team doesn't really have any fear of stuff like that, so that really helps us.
Prepare yourselves. Coming this fall, a Hearthstone tournament like none other. The Collegiate Hearthstone Championship. In a whole new competitive format, teams of 3 from across North America will gather, craft their decks, and work together to be crowned champions.
You asked for
For justice. And with over $100,000 in scholarships to win, why not give it a shot? For all the details, check out the link below. So gather your crew and sign up today. And stay tuned for more information about the live finals later this year.
It's not easy being queen. So many subjects to keep in line. So many scores to settle. I am the Swarm. And vengeance has never looked this good.
Welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm, America's Championship. We are now going into game number 2. We were talking a lot about that Illidan composition. I'm curious to see if we're going to have it again. Before we talk about that, our map is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Well, Tomb of the Spider Queen, what is Murloc Geniuses going to be looking to do here to take out Cloud9 that has seemed just so solid against them?
This is the battleground where vision is very key, so commonly we'll see Zagara picked up early in the draft, but also Kerrigan has a big priority as well. Just the rotations, the power she has to dive in with the Ravage and set up that combo is quite good. So I expect to see something like Tyrande, Zagara, and Kerrigan all being very more highly prioritized than the other battlegrounds.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised by that. We've seen Tyrande being either picked up or banned very early so far in this tournament. Definitely would go well with that. But could that mean that Cloud9 like preemptively bans a Kerrigan or something like that, knowing that this could be the one scary thing that they couldn't stop?
There's still the power of Uther and Zeratul, so it's tough to call that. Like, we saw a strategic Tyrande ban in that last game, which set them up to force out the Zeratul ban and pick up Uther. So they could aim to do something like that, pick up one of those OPs, as the community likes to dub them, and it could be cool.
As the experts dub them.
Yes, indeed.
No, I think you're definitely right. Having Zagara there early on is really strong. This map is really difficult when it comes to not being ambushed. There's so many little smoke screens set up everywhere. The lanes are really close together, so you definitely want to watch out for that. So we may have Zagara picked first or banned right away.
Yeah, and it's still a cool thing for Abathur as well. I mean, Abathur can throw down the Toxic Nest all over the place to give yourself that vision on the potential rotations, and the slow that you can pick up on the Nest really buys you the time to respond to that potential threat of Kerrigan or Zeratul, Illidan, whoever happens to be roaming down through that lane.
We are ready to go to the draft, so we're going to see exactly what the makeup is going to be for our two teams as they will be picking and banning the heroes for this match on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
All right, let's see who has that first ban and first pick. Very much looking forward to it. All right, it looks like Murloc Geniuses goes first and bans Zeratul. No big surprise there, right,
Yeah,
guys?
I mean, Zeratul, regardless of the map you're on, Void Prison is just so good, especially when you have a team that's as organized as Cloud9 is. You want to get that eliminated. And we see here for Cloud9 actually eliminating Uther as a pick.
I think today what you're going to see out of Cloud9 is they're going to ban Uther unless they know they can get the first pick. So in a first ban scenario, they'll ban Zeratul, and then or Tyrande, something weird like that. And in a first pick situation, they're always going to try to get Uther.
Well, I tell you, Uther is both good with and against Kerrigan.
Yes.
So that's definitely a smart one for this map. Now, we do have Murloc Geniuses picking up their first pick. Jaina, a super common first pick for this tournament so far.
Yeah, getting Jaina, she does so much damage, and obviously she can slow down the team if the other team's trying to escape. So she's really able to get in there and punish. All around, very strong hero. Obviously, she's very squishy. She dies very quickly. And we see the response to the Jaina pick is to take Kael'thas, which is similar as far as damage output goes. And Kael'thas can like stun in a sense, whereas Jaina mostly slows. But Kael'thas, very good. Usually picked second compared to Jaina. And not a big surprise here with Tyrande picked as the second hero.
Now Kael'thas is a really smart pickup because of how crucial it is to have strong lane clear, the objective, right? You summon these web weavers that summon minions with them and push down your lane. Having Blizzard, Cone of Cold, great to remove that. The Chain Bomb, also a very strong utility. But Tyrande, she has such a good kit, right? She has the utility of vision, and you mentioned the Gravity Lapse on Kael'thas. Pair that with Lunar Flare, that's a lot of lockdown.
Yeah, that is definitely going to give you some control in the fight. By the way, we have Johanna picked. Interestingly enough, Johanna picked before Leoric. Do you guys know why that would be? I'm not totally sure on that one.
You know, I do have to say Johanna, definitely a great character on the map as well. She does have a very quick lane clear, but she goes pretty well with Jaina, right?
Yes.
Like the Condemn kind of pulls them in so that the Blizzard can actually land and deal that significant
That's
amount
a really
of
good
damage.
point. Yeah, you can combo out a lot of damage. You know, Blizzard is great because it does so much damage, but a lot of times they just run out of it. But you can definitely probably get the second wave to hit them if you combo that with Condemn correctly.
And I would like to see Zagara here. No, they're going for Kerrigan now. This is such a strong combo. You already talked about Condemn plus Blizzard. You throw Primal Grasp with the Impale on top of it, and it just stuns and lockdown for days.
Yeah, and you know, taking up that Kerrigan, definitely when I play on Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of the scariest heroes to play against. Just rotating right through those little smoke screens, just jumping on you in a matter of seconds. Kerrigan, a fantastic pick here.
And the next set of bans going to be Zagara. We were talking about that earlier. Zagara is very strong on this map. It's almost like you're playing with map hacks because you get so much vision as to what's going on. And we saw the Arthas ban. Arthas, one of the more popular warriors. I wouldn't say like top 2 or anything like that, but definitely Arthas is somebody we almost always see picked in like the second half of the pick ban phase, right? When they're just kind of closing it out. So no Arthas here.
But Leoric gets picked up right away here from Cloud9. No big surprise there, of course. This guy definitely valued as one of the very top warriors in the game.
And I'm very curious to see how they're going to go with this next pick. It could be their support just because if they say, you know what, we'd rather have Rhaegar or Malfurion. Yes, they do go for Rhaegar. This leaves their final pick reactionary based on what Murloc Geniuses opts to go for their final 2 picks.
So Rhaegar is the hero selected. I think that makes perfect sense. I think it's a good pick there for Cloud9. We got to see now, though, the last 2 picks here from Murloc Geniuses. They are not going with anything like that Illidan comp we had last time. So how would they close this out, Jake?
It's tough to say. I mean, they definitely need the support, so Malfurion makes the most sense to me, but we have seen carries being used a lot more in this event. So if they're feeling confident, no, sticking to their roots. literally, with Malfurion. And of course, they have all that stun and lockdown with it, so Roots will pair nicely here on this battleground. The last pickup, I'm feeling another ranged assassin. They do have a big front line already. Vala makes a lot of sense to me, or Nazebo if they do want to just really prioritize the control on the battleground.
All right, let's see what that last pick will end up being here. You have to be careful, of course. There is still one pick left for Cloud9, and it will be Vala, a ranged assassin, as you were mentioning, going to help with those lane clears and add a lot of damage on. Of course, really great in rotations as well. She just deals so much damage so quickly.
Yeah, Vala is just all around a very strong hero. Pretty good in pretty much any team comp, so not a big surprise there. The last pick is going to go to Cloud9. They are still deliberating on exactly which hero they're going to take here. Jake, do you have any thoughts on what the best pick would be to close this out?
I'm feeling a bigger front line. Muradin makes a lot of sense to me. He's so strong in this battleground, being able to dwarf toss over the wall. Reverberation isn't like gonna have the most effect versus like this composition, but it's still good.
Yeah.
And they could spec more towards that Storm Bolt if they do feel the need to do so.
All right, I like what you're saying there. I think that would be a great pickup right here. Taking a look at it though, do they really have anything that combos well with Tyrande yet?
I mean, the Gravity Lapse is decent, but Miranda is such a good pairing. Like
that's true.
Right. I mean, and there it is,
Muradin.
The pickup.
You got it, Jake. You are the Miss Cleo of esports, man. You predicted everything right there.
That's what I do, man.
We are going to be starting this game very shortly. Again, it is Tomb of the Spider Queen. Just very briefly here, you need to collect gems. You need to deposit the gems without being interrupted during that deposit period. When you deposit those gems, then you summon web weavers, excuse me, and they do push the lane for you. So it's a pretty intense map. Also, the lanes are very close together, so you can rotate very quickly. And it's hard to see when they're coming at you in those lanes because they're blocked by smoke, so you can't see when they're coming. And no Zagara here, so these guys are going to have to be on their tippy toes the whole time.
Yeah, both teams have such a powerful rotation. Muradin and Tyrande very strong, and then you have that Kerrigan Johanna. It's going to be an aggressive game. I can't wait for it to all unfold.
All right, it looks like we're ready to get into that game, everyone.
Game number 2 is underway. Murloc Geniuses against Cloud9.
Over here on the left side of the map, in the blue, we have Equinox on Kerrigan, madtimmy on Malfurion, Faye on Jaina, CauthonLuck on Vala, and Fury on Johanna. Make some noise for Murloc Geniuses. And their opponents on the right in the red, we have DunkTrain on Rhaegar, King Caffeine on Leoric, Fan on Muradin, Keiwan Pro on Tyrande, and iDream on Kael'thas. Let's hear it for Cloud9. All right, already having a little bit of a fight here in the center. King Caffeine getting away just in the nick of time.
As this game picks up, not uncommon to any game in Heroes of the Storm. Usually a little bit of a fight in the middle of the map before we rotate into the lanes. They do have to get to each lane and make sure they're soaking up experience, because if you get behind early on, that can really catch up to you, especially when that level 10 starts to come into play.
Certainly the case. We do see a lot of rotating going on right now. Control in the middle is Cloud9, but Murloc Geniuses coming down from the side. Nice stun going off on Kerrigan, kind of slowing them down from their clear.
As the game continues forward here, we do see no deaths just yet, just an exchange here. But it's important to note, just because no heroes have died, when that moment, excuse me, when we're in a moment like that, you got to keep an eye on the mana, because they can only tap the well every so often. So occasionally players that just burn out too many spells are going to have a problem when you get around level 4, level 3.
Oh, definitely the case. You might have to even go Hearthstone all the way back and heal up completely, and that takes a lot of time, and that will get you behind on these rotations.
As you can see here, oh, nice dodge there by everybody on Cloud9. Jaina's condemned, not connecting to any one player right now. Also important to note, no gems have been deposited yet. Usually when you have higher level teams, they wait a little bit on the deposits. I mean, if you're playing on lower level on a ladder or something like that, people try to drop off every gem they get, but here they bank the gems and then try to make one good play, turn them in all at the same time.
That's right, especially with rotations like we're seeing here. If you try to turn in right now, you are going to get behind them. They might just jump on you, and you're not going to be ready for that. So we do see both teams continuing to rotate, kind of losing sync with where they were at before.
As we continue on here, we are seeing the first turn in here by Fan, and wow, Murloc Genius is just not there at all. They got 14 gems put in there, so they're much closer, obviously, than Murloc Geniuses as to getting the first wave of web turners. Hold that thought though. Kerrigan getting very low.
Huge combo going off on Kerrigan right there, but barely making it out.
Nicely done there. I was actually pretty sure Kerrigan was going to go down there. That happened so quickly, by the way. Really good focusing there by Cloud9. But Kerrigan does escape, and so right now it's pretty balanced as far as map control goes. I do like how we have, if we get a shot back down at the bottom, hiding in the smoke. We had Vala actually camping there for a long period of time, hoping to actually poke out. But a nice job there controlling the bottom lane. By the way, bottom lane, not as important here as top lane on this map. Bottom lane, as you can see, the map dips down the most, so that takes the longest for the lane to push in. And top lane has the boss. Oh, hold up. Vala's going to go down. Nicely done.
Yeah, nice stun chain there by Cloud9. Really well done. Might even be able to deny a little bit of soak down here, and obviously quite a few gems being dropped off.
As we see now, it looks like DunkTrain got to get 17 gems turned in right now. That's going to put them at 44, so that's 6 gems away from actually getting the map objective. That would be some great push potential for them.
Well, we do see, you know, Cloud9 with a small experience lead here. It's not the biggest deal in the world at the moment, but if they do hit that level 10 first, as we continue to say, that is a gigantic deal, so they can win any battle there. But here we go, and the stun chain once again on Kerrigan, going down in a matter of seconds. Beautifully done here by Cloud9.
Nicely done, Kerrigan getting absolutely wrecked there, and we almost have the turn it. It's actually only 3 gems away. You can see right now, Murloc Geniuses just trying to deny, trying to stall. Are they going to get the turn-in, though? And they might want to actually rotate down to the bottom turn-in point. As you can see, Murloc Geniuses trying to poke in here. Still delaying, still denying.
They just can't quite get it yet. A nice denial right there, but as they deal more and more damage here to Joanna, they may be able to get that turn-in. Nice kill there, though, by Murloc Geniuses.
I think actually Cloud9 getting a little bit greedy there. They're going to lose 2 heroes.
That was really well done by Murloc Geniuses. Kind of a little rally there, but still, they're only 3 gems off. That shouldn't be so hard to turn in.
Dude, look, they might get the entire turn in right now due to the greed here of Cloud9. Are they going to get the sell in? It's at 2, but hold on, there's 1 hero here with 44 gems. Oh, but nicely done there. Cloud9 ninjas the turn in there at the turning point that nobody was at, and so they're going to get the first wave of Web Weavers. That was some MVP play there by Cloud9.
That's right. Well, look at that. A lot of damage being put down on Jaina, trying to grab Leora, but an instant Wraith Walk does secure his exit from that area. And we do have the Web Weavers for Cloud9 finally landing.
As you can see here, the Web Reavers coming down, pushing the lanes in here. Now, the first wave of Web Reavers in the game, not as strong as when we get later on here, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a handful here because, a bit of a handful for Murloc Geniuses because they're behind just slightly in experience. A lot of damage is going to be dealt here, and because we're so close to level 10, Cloud9 getting level 10 roughly when the Web Reavers are eliminated is going to give them a big advantage for a small period of time. They can always win the fight.
Well, right now we do see they're pushing this middle lane very strongly indeed. We have 3 Murloc Geniuses holding off this Web Weaver. They do lose the towers, they do lose the gate, but at least the fort is at full health.
As we can see, this is the twilight here of the Web Reavers being in the game, as they are now all cleaned up. We have not had much impact here with the mercenaries on this map, but that should be coming into play pretty quickly, especially with the bruisers on this map. You see a lot of that, occasionally even some greedy play where they try to capture the bruiser camp on the other side. But for the time being, it's going to be probably some conservative play. I think they're both going to wait out until level 10. Now, Cloud9's going to get level 10 first, and Murloc Geniuses is just going to have to turn in here.
It looks like Fury going to go ahead and try to turn his 50 gems. They are coming in, though, and trying to stop it. Leora taking a lot of damage. Does Wraith walk out for the time being. Nice pull in there on Murden. Murden explodes. Quite a few gems being drawn.
Murloc Geniuses has so many gems right now. It's almost funny. Okay, so we have, 51 gems. Oh, sick. Nice shot by Itakura with the owl. This is so well played right now by Cloud9. They just keep delaying every second, but I believe this turn is going to finish. Boom, there it is. Web Reavers are descending.
All right, well, that's a good turn in right there. Definitely don't want to lose all those gems on Joanna. The later it gets, the more often you're likely to die. So good job there. And hopefully they can get this level 10 right now. Looks like they will, not very far behind Cloud9.
And they are going to get the lane push coming up here. Important to note, there are a number of Murloc Genius players that have a good amount of gems. Now, when you're killed as a hero in this game, you drop your gems. So you can see 17 gems right there on CauthonLuck. You got to be very careful to not lose CauthonLuck in a situation like this. We've seen games where they get the web weavers to come out, and then they immediately deposit again after the web weavers die because they've collected so many gems. So you got to be very cautious.
Well, right now we do have a rotation down to this middle lane with Murloc Geniuses trying to push through these gates, but Cloud9 is right on their tails, trying to push us back and taking out that web weaver in a matter of seconds.
As we have level 10 achieved here by both players, it still could be a very even fight. We do see Leoric just barely ghosting out of there in time. Nicely done. Leoric, of course, one of the harder heroes to ever kill. Down here in bottom lane, the web weavers are actually tearing through. You got to be very careful not to lose that fort. That's really the only focal point. Everything is there to protect the fort. If infrastructure starts to go down there, it's fine as long as the fort is still around. Because once obviously the fort is taken out, that's when the lane really gets to get shoved in much harder.
Yeah, it's definitely a stop point that's going to clear out lanes very quickly. But they do keep all their forts. No forts going down yet this game, and it looks like it's time to grab some of these mercenary camps. A great time, really, because both teams have less gems than they did before.
And as we see here, Leoric, once again, always great to have Leoric in the front there. It looks like actually CauthonLuck might have burnt out the heroic ability a little bit too early there.
Yeah, trying to get that extra hit on Leoric and take him out. He does have over 20 gems right now, so it could have been a nice snipe, but not quite getting it.
We're going to have another turn-in over here as this will go completely uninterrupted. So 7 gems there. You know, we reset that. It's now 55 gems is the point in which you actually get to activate the web weavers. So it's going to be very important right now for Murloc Geniuses. It hasn't really been taken down in a while. I mean, they're pretty loaded with gems. As long as they can turn that in without Cloud9 interrupting, that would be pretty huge.
Well, you know, that would be indeed. We do see a turn-in here up at the top turn-in point.
Whoa, and totally uncontested here. Whoa.
Leoric gonna poke his head in, but a little bit too late, and Murloc Geniuses secures the web weavers.
Nicely done. Murloc Geniuses really testing the limits here of Cloud9. Remember, with this wave specifically, the forts are actually under serious threat. So if the forts go down here, that's going to be a pretty big advantage going into as we advance to level 20. That'll be pretty huge.
Well, looks like they're going after this fort. A nice Phoenix heroic going down from Kayla, trying to zone everyone out. The web weaver going to drop right here. They really want to try to save this fort. But with Murloc Geniuses coming in 5 strong, not sure they'll be able to. Nice pull-in right there. Absolutely. Oh my God, that ancestral on Vernon. A huge save.
You can see Murloc Geniuses really trying to dive in there and do the damage with good coordination there by Cloud9. However, the fort is going to go down, so a victory there for Murloc Geniuses as they can now happily retreat, getting much better control of the center lane.
Look at this, Kerrigan trying to get in there, do some more damage. King Caffeine solo, he does explode, but iDream is there to pick up his gems. Ring of Frost goes down, absolutely hits nobody, but a nice move here by Murloc Geniuses, who still have web weavers in both other lanes.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that battle went on for so long, they're going to lose bottom lane right here. So another fort goes down. Top lane is pretty badly bruised. We see middle lane here, nothing there, and up at the top. This is pretty exposed. Problem right now is not just that the lanes are weakened up here for Cloud9, but they don't have as much vision on the map, and this map's already pretty scary. People jump out and kill you all the time. So it's going to be very tough here for Cloud9. I think Murloc Geniuses is playing this very well, and we'll have to see what Cloud9 has if they're going to try to come back with this.
Well, you know, they definitely still have a shot in this game. They're going to be down about a level pretty soon here. But looking at both these compositions, I think they'll be completely fine as they enter the later game. They're still going to be able to keep up. Right now, we do have King Caffeine up here near this turn-in point, kind of just spying on what they're doing. But the rest of his team coming in. Looks like DunkTrain trying to get that turn-in. Oh, a nice stun chain, but beautiful ice block from Jaina.
Jaina's going to be a little bit of trouble here. She dies so quickly. Meanwhile, we have CauthonLuck trying to back out. Good dash out there by Vala, but actually Vala might be in some trouble. She's got to go the long route. Stun there by Tyrande as Vala will manage to survive that. But had that stun actually connected, I think she would have gone down for sure.
Yeah, you know, that Lunar Flare, sometimes it's hard to hit it, but when you hit it in that chase type of scenario, we already had Leoric, we already had Rhaegar going after her, so they tried for it, it missed. That's all right. Still, you know, it's pretty good for Cloud9. They have that turn-in.
Yeah, very nicely done. This is actually the turn they needed to have. So at this point in time, it's we're going to have to see how this actually works out. And team engagement is going to be key here, because if especially as we're getting later here. You know, death timer always longer as the game gets farther and farther along. So let's see how the team battle goes, because if Cloud9 can win this, that would be huge. That would be the way they could actually start to take out all the forts here.
All right, looks like right now we do have Johanna being targeted quite a bit. Doesn't take too much damage. His top web weaver going to be cleaned up by Murloc Geniuses quite quickly. Doesn't look like they'll be losing this fort, but they're going to have to rotate down to that middle very quickly.
And speaking of middle, that fort is taken out, and we do have the bottom lane unattended right now. So keep in mind, the longer this battle goes on, the weaker bottom lane is going to be.
That's right, we do have Cloud9 kind of pushing them, trying to keep them here, trying to keep them busy so their web weavers can kill off that bottom fort. Bottom fort certainly taking a lot of damage at the moment, buying a ton of time here for those web weavers.
Yeah, you can see down here, nothing to help defend this, so that 100% is going to go down as Cloud9 is beginning to equalize this game.
These were some really great moves by Cloud9 to keep the pressure up there, buy the time for that bottom lane, and now they've gotten 2 of those 3 forts. So this was a really nice comeback set of web weavers for them.
Okay, so the web weaver base is ended here. Keep in mind, actually, Mercenary is still pretty untouched here. This has been a lot of turn-ins in this game. It's funny, sometimes this map is very heavily Mercenary focused. Sometimes we don't see as many turn-ins, but here, there's been a good share of web weavers, so we see both lanes pushed in pretty heavily. Also, keep in mind, as this turn-in happens, there's a high chance they may go for, you know, we'll actually post that a boss snag here up into the top lane. We haven't had any boss play just yet, but it's definitely something we want to keep our eyes peeled for.
Definitely got to be careful about that one. We'll see when they try to take the boss for the first time this game, but with that web weaver turn in, look at this, Cloud9 positioning themselves to take out this top fort, which means there will be no forts left for Murloc Geniuses.
We had web weavers coming out just a second ago, right? I guess this is happening again here for Cloud9 as they are just hammering through the defenses right now. For Murloc Geniuses, this is going to be a problem. Murloc Geniuses is actually in a tough spot. Also, Cloud9's ahead. They're at level 16, and we're getting very close to level 20 here. Cloud9 is just forcing Murloc Geniuses to shrink on the map.
Certainly the case, but one cool thing about this map is the fact that as you get down to these keep areas, they're very close, so you can rotate quickly on the defense. We'll see if they can hold on to everything, but Cloud9 pushing strongly at this top keep.
As they are continuing to push through right now, it's becoming worse and worse for Murloc Geniuses. Note the caution here, Cloud9 trying to back up. Murloc Geniuses is going to go in and try to engage here. Beautiful ancestral, and now Murloc Geniuses being forced to retreat right now, but beautiful stunts going down as we have the first takedown.
Malfurion going down so quickly. It looks like Kerrigan should be going down as well. We got CauthonLuck popping that straight, dealing a lot of damage, but Cloud9 relentlessly goes after this key.
And this is going to give them direct access to the core. 3 heroes down.
I cannot believe that man jumped out of there, but he is coming right back. They are going after the core. It is a 5 versus 2.
And with the players eliminated for this long, you can see the next player is going to be back in 12 seconds. I don't believe that's going to be enough time to actually save this core. It's getting weaker and weaker. You can see CauthonLuck doing everything in his power to try to keep the core alive. And the core now down to about 30% health as it will go down this game. And this will be a 2-0 victory for Cloud9.
Wow, some really fantastic play coming out of Cloud9 in this series with that strong 2-0 victory. Jake, what are you going to say about that match?
You know, it was just a really clean, straightforward game. Murloc was in it the entire matchup. They did a good job getting their gems turned in throughout the game, but Cloud9 never stopped. They never relinquished their control, their presence on the battleground, and they found one opening towards the end, took out that keep, got a few crucial kills early in the fight, and they took it all.
It's really funny, you know, you can see especially on that map, when a fight's going on for a long time, regardless of who's winning, when the Reavers are pushing, I mean, sometimes we're like, oh, it was an even exchange, but then you go back and you think, oh no, bottom lane's actually gone now because nobody was there.
Yeah, I really loved some of those pressure plays by them, keeping Murloc Geniuses a bit out of position so their web weavers could do some more work. Cloud9 looking fantastic here, even though, you know, they did get 2-0'd by Tempo Storm. they're still looking like maybe they can come back and take this tournament.
And it's interesting, a lot of teams are starting to say that, well, maybe Rhaegar is not all that good. Ancestral Heal, it's a lot harder to execute than the Divine Shield that Uther has. But they still went with it. And DunkTrain got so many crucial Ancestrals in that game. Even towards, I mean, Murden was down to like maybe 12 hit points. Ancestral healed him up. Finn got out of so many situations on Murden that he should not have lived in. Let's actually take a look at that final team fight in which they were pushing on forward. So they're putting that pressure on with the Web Reavers after they got the turn in here post level 16. Murloc just says, I'm going to tell everybody, there's that first big Ancestral in this fight to help them stay in the fight pushing forward. Web Reaver applying a lot of damage, but the march goes forward, and then that Dwarf Toss to pick up the takedown. Equinox will get bullied in the back. He tries to dive in to stay alive, but no, will end up falling. And really, it's just that big potential. The two frontliners having so much damage output with the support in the back, securing the game. The Ancestral Heals on point. Fan once again able to escape the clutches of that Ring of Frost, and
the clutchiness. The clutchness of that. No, that was seriously really sick. They did such a fantastic job.
Yeah. That was very clutch indeed to get out of the clutches of that Ring of Frost. Like, Fan was just, his staying power there with Muradin was absolutely
He knows his limits, and that's something that these players are all getting so much better as. The bar, the skill level of every player in the community, it just keeps going up. I love it.
You say he knows his limits, but I feel like he has no limits. The way that he was getting out of there every single time, it was just a thing of beauty.
Well, guys, coming up next, we're going to have Tempo Storm versus Complexity, and that's going to do it for that best of 3 for us. Fantastic series. Let's go ahead and throw it to Anna on the main stage.
Hi guys, I am here, of course, with Cloud9 and our fearless leader, DunkTrain. You guys don't look as happy as I expected after that last game.
To be honest, I think the matches were a little tougher than we expected, and credit to Murlocs for that. They've improved a lot over the past few weeks, so well played, guys.
Definitely. In the first game, we saw a no-tank composition. That's something we see around in North America, but maybe a little more unexpected. Were you guys ready for that?
Well, we're ready for that draft just because Cognitive plays it a lot, but we really were surprised to see it come from Complexity because we've never seen them run the Illidan tank composition before.
Yeah, in game 2, I think that's where, as an audience, we were a little more uncertain of what the outcome was going to be. Of course, we saw Equinox on Kerrigan. That's something that's always really, really tough. Tomb of the Spider Queen, very volatile. Tell us a little bit about how you felt in that game.
Well, we knew we were probably just as scary as they were. Both teams had really aggressive compositions that could just kill a target out. And I think there were just team fights that were really, really close and could have gone either way, and it just turned out in our favor consistently. So we had a pretty easy time once we got the ball rolling.
Absolutely. And you're going up against teams that you have played before. Now you know you're facing Cognitive. What are you going to do to make sure that you come out on top there?
Just play tight.
Play tight. That sounds good. You have a lot of fans in the audience. We're seeing signs for Cloud9, a lot of choo-choos. So after that game, is there anything your fans can do to cheer you on and make sure that you're ready?
Be really loud so you tilt the other team. Just scream at them constantly. Definitely do that.
I think you guys can handle that. Well, coming up next, we have an interview with Chopra backstage.
Thank you very much, Anna. And look who I'm here with, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tempo Storm. And I'm here because now finally the next match you guys play, it's not just the semifinals, it's not just the top 4, but this is the BlizzCon qualification match. In some ways, this is the biggest match you've ever played. Would you say that?
I mean, definitely it is. It has the most on the line. It's the BlizzCon ticket right here.
So does that add any more pressure for you guys? Because every time I talk to you, you guys are so confident.
It obviously adds pressure, but I don't think it's anything that we're too, like, it doesn't reduce our confidence at all. We're still very confident in our play.
All right, well, that's great to hear. Before I let you go and get all set up, since I'm here with you guys, I'm going to give you a chance to give a big shout out to the fans out here in the crowd before the match starts. What do you want to say to them?
Just thanks for all the support, everybody here. Even if you aren't supporting us, just the viewership and everything that you guys do for the community, it's awesome, and thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it's Tempo Storm versus Complexity for the BlizzCon qualification. Don't go anywhere.
No matter how expected you are to win or how confident you are in your head, like, a loss is a loss, and as long as you take it seriously and learn from it, there's nothing you can ask. I like past that.
For us, it's not really like, oh, we've lost, it's a letdown and we're crushed. It's more like, no matter what, let's play our best next game and just go through it each game at a time.